feature on.
Everyone, good morning or good afternoon, depending on your part of the country. This is Michelle Myers. I'm the National Trainer for Kirsch. It is 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started. If you're in a loud area, please mute your line. You can achieve that by hitting *6, and that will unmute your line. If your line is too loud, I'll have to go ahead and mute it because we want to make sure we have very nice, clean, and crisp audio for everyone. I should be able to listen to this call two ways, over your internet or your computer speakers. Also, if you're having problems with that, please feel free to dial in. I have put our dial-in information in the chat area. So you dial into our 1-800 number for toll-free information there. I'll get started taking us through our designer metals, our brand new designer metals training. Our call is being recorded, so if you have to jump off, you have someone else who could not make it, it will be recorded and it will be posted to our Kirsch YouTube site. I will get that up as soon as I can after the call is finished. And additionally, if you do have questions while you're going through, because we do have a lot of folks on the line and that have logged in, we're going to simply need to keep the line quiet. Please chat your questions into me. So on your dashboard, you should have a little item where you can chat questions, and you have the option to chat directly to the host. So you send me your questions, and then I will answer those as we're going through our process. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. And thank you all for joining us. We at Kirsch are extremely excited to be presenting our brand new designer metal decorative drapery hardware collection. This is a product that will be live February 1st, 2013. So it's good we can get out to you a couple weeks in advance so that you're going to have plenty of time to contact your distributor sales rep or your Kirsch sales rep to make sure that you have everything that you'll need to sell this program. As I begin the training, I'm first going to take you through our product, our features and benefits of the actual product, and then after we finish that, I'm going to show you all the new sales collateral, include the sample brochures, the swatch cards, and also our new displays to support the Designer Metals program. So go ahead and jump right in to our brand new Kirsch Designer Metals metal drapery hardware line. There are 6 key elements with this drapery hardware program that I will reiterate multiple times, and I want to make sure you're all very clear on. We've done a great deal of work and research to make sure that this program is right for not only our consumers, but also our decorators and our distributor network. That being said, we are launching brand new designer-approved finials and finishes. Like I said, we did a lot of research to make sure in the industry, to make sure that the geometries of the finials and the finishes that we were coming out with, not only right for the blinds and shades, draperies, and drapery hardware industries, but also just home improvement in general. So we worked with flooring manufacturers, we worked with cabinet hardware manufacturers, and into that a little bit as we get in further on. But just to let you know, this was a program that was highly researched, so we wanted to make sure that the designs and the finishes were very accurate to what was needed in the field. All of this program is brand new when you look at the finishes and the finial designs. We've really changed the look. It's a much more edgy, a much more modern program now. We have enhanced the functionality on our 1 3/8" decorative traverse rods. So enhancing the functionality, what we have done here is we have actually taken the overlap. When you have those telescoping 1 3/8" traverse rods, when you telescope them out, we have more than doubled the overlap on their maximum telescope size. So what's going to allow, what that will allow is that you just have a much structurally stronger rod. We've also done a few other things as far as maintenance on our cutting machines, things of that nature, that are going to make sure we have very clean cuts on telescoping poles just so that everything will fit together and be a much smoother system. So that's a key part to this program. Another key that we are very, very excited to offer you is tonally coordinated components. So everything on both your stationary and 1 3/8" telescope rods, we will be coordinated. So your brackets, your rings, your traverse slides, all those items are going to be totally coordinated to keep a really nice and beautiful, complete look in the window. Also bring some new innovation to this category that we never had before. Some of those items include the baton draw traversing ones and C-rings with center bypass bracket. I'm going to review that also when we get further into the presentation. But just to let you a little sneak peek, if you're familiar with our wrought iron, it's going to work very, very similar. And finally, our hardware and accessories previously were all in different collections. So to have one collection that was just stationary poles, and one collection that was just traversing rods, and another collection that was 2-inch traverse rods, and then finally another collection that was accessories. And we've combined all of those categories into one, into our new designer metals. What that's going to do is it's going to make it much easier for you to sell, and it's much easier for the consumer to purchase. Also, now you'll have continuity with all of the finishes, so no longer jumping from category to category and trying to make things work. So overall, it is just a much simpler buying process. Our ongoing Kirsch consumer message is sticking with the same one that we've had for about a year, and that is create an extraordinary view from the inside out. So you'll see this in any of our advertisements, both in print, in Shelter magazines, and anything online that we may do. This is still our tagline for this program. So now jump into the good stuff, which is the actual meat of the program. As I said, we drew trends from the furniture industry, from home industries. One thing that's really impressive with this new program is you can see I have the little buttons of all 9 of our new finishes that are being offered in designer metals. And all of these finishes are brand new with the exception of satin nickel. So completely revamped all the finishes so that we have just a much more on-trend offering for your consumers. Also, when you look at our finials, you can just see so many new geometries, so many new designs that are employed here that we've never had before. Previously, our Studio Coordinates collection was very traditional, and our Mix and Match collection, almost all of those finials had just a ball geometry. They were all around shape. So we really changed some things and made improvements to the overall style of the finials. Also see on this page 3 of these finials that we feature here, the accent finial, and then the sterling finial here in oak. These actually show a mixed media finial. We're using metal with wrought wood, or using metal with an acrylic, or metal with a walnut wood accent again here. So this mixed media has been very popular. Consumers really like it because in their home there's already so many mixed media pieces. We look at new furniture or cabinets or anything of that nature. Again, we really went outside of our own industries to look for near neighbor industries and have a lot of different options available to you. And you'll see that as we go through the program more in the next few slides. When we launched this program, we looked at some really important things that our consumers were asking for. And the main 3 that stuck out in all of our research was new on-trend finishes, new modern finials, and also an easy selection process. So really feel like we have achieved that with all of our new finials and finishes, and we're bringing together into one category, which used to be designer metals, match, studio coordinates, metal accessories, and state ultra metal. So things have really been have been brought together and reimagined and redesigned so that you're going to have a very wonderful product category to choose from. New finial designs. You can see here some of our brand new finials that we feature in the Designer Metals program. And like I said earlier, we really did focus a lot on the mixed medias. So you're going to see acrylic with metal, wood with metal, just some things that are very contemporary that consumers have been designers and consumers have been asking us for. On the same token, we have kept some really nice, clean trees. Here we have our Corsa, which is almost an end cap. It has a little bit more design than a traditional plain end cap, but really wanted to offer the gamut of everything from, a traditional fleur-de-lis and a ball finial geometry, all the way into these new ones that you see here on the screen. Just to make sure that we're truly hitting all demographics, all design styles of everyone who really needs metal drapery hardware in their home. For the vast improvement of selection, I want to walk you through this slide very quickly. This one shows you that our old program, so this is studio coordinates and mix and match combined. In the old program, we offered 46 unique finials, unique finishes. So if one finial was offered in 3 finishes, I counted it 3 times. So we offered 46 unique finial finish combinations. In our new program, Designer Metals, we are now offering 154 unique finials and finishes. So we more than tripled the product category, which again is just going to give you so much more flexibility and give the consumer so much more of a range of options. This is even more pronounced when you get to our 2-inch finial and finish combinations, which would be the finials that accommodate our estate ultra rod. Previously, we only had 4 finials that would 4 unique finial finish combinations, and now we have 38. So increase that by more than 8 times, which is a huge improvement. What you're going to see here is every finial in the Designer Metals program, if it is just a single glass finial, if it's not a specialty finial that has, an accent or wood or acrylic, if it's just a plain standard one color finial, it's available in all 9 of our new Designer Metals finishes. So you no longer, have to look through the price book and try to figure out which finials are available in which finishes. This is a much easier program, not only to sell, but also to select from. Of those beautiful finishes, here are brand new finishes. 8 are brand new with just the satin nickel coming back from the old program. So I'll just take you through kind of the circle here. We have beginning the satin nickel, which is our great standby. We have our antique silver that you can see right here, which is a beautiful brushed, more of a brushed silver. It doesn't quite have the sheen that the satin nickel does. I really like this finish as it has those darker undertones that we're really seeing increase in popularity. Now we have the brushed bronze, which is a very smooth, nice, warm bronze finish, and that's complemented with the gilded bronze. So the gilded bronze here, again, very similar to the antique silver. It has those darker undertones. I like these 2 more gold finishes more than anything that we had in the past. Previously, our gold finishes were they were very bright. They had a very heavy yellow undertone. So this is a much more muted, much more elegant looking gold finishes that we're offering. Now we get into our 5 brand new darker finishes that we're all very, very excited about. So first off, we begin with our caramel bronze. So the caramel bronze right here. This is a finish that we pulled directly from our sister brand, Amarok. If you're familiar at all with cabinets or cabinet hardware, you will have heard the name Amarok. They're an industry leader in cabinet hardware and other hardware around the home. So caramel bronze is a finish that Amarok has been selling in our cabinet hardware line, and it has done extremely well. So we're very, very excited to see what caramel bronze does with the decorative drapery hardware because it's just a natural fit. It's not quite as dark as, the oil rub bronze that's kind of been a standby for the last few years. It's a very, very warm, very rich tone. It looks absolutely beautiful live. We have our black bronze. Black bronze is another finish that I'm really excited about personally, just because my personal taste, I love the darker tones. The thing that's unique about the black bronze, it serves as the base color for some of the other 3 bronzes. So you'll see as you're going through the program and learning more about it is when we talk about poles and smooth items, some accessories, pole rods, unlike the finials, they are available in all 9 of these colors, and that's simply because the next 3 I'll talk about, the Aura bronze, the dark oil bronze, and the Venetian bronze, really all 3 share that same black bronze base coat with black bronze finish. Yep. So when we're making a pole, because there are no hard, what I'm kind of referring to as knife edges, there's no edges on the pole, you'll never see those beautiful accents that are underneath, unless we would have literally we have to scratch the pole to get that to show through, which that was not a good look. So what we were able to do with this program that I love so much is for our distributor partners, they're able to stock just the black bronze pole, and our designers, you as our designers and decorators, you choose to really accent the color with the finial. So if the customer wants the Venetian bronze, if they want more of the gold undertone, or they want the dark oil bronze or the oil rub bronze for more of that copper undertone, you're able to have that flexibility just by changing out the finials rather than having to order an entirely different set. They look beautiful together, they completely complement each other, so it's not like you're being shortchanged, it's just really an increased flexibility option. So again, the finials are available in all 9 colors, as long as they're not a specialty finial. However, when you get to the poles and accessories, you may be limited. The black bronze is truly the jump-off polar rod for these other 3 colors as well. I'm actually going to take you through in a few slides and show you a photograph just of how these things play together. So our finishes, like I said, we now offer 9 finishes, and they are available in all 1 3/8 inch color finials, so 1 material finials. And then, of course, for our 2-inch metal finials, those are also available in all 9 colors. So that there is just a huge improvement, where previously we had to do, we had such a limited color scale. So again, I keep saying it, keep reiterating it, but we're really just increasing the flexibility of the program, making it easier for you and making it easier for the consumer. Covered the finials and the finishes, which were what designers and what the industry really asked us. Now I'm going to take you through the actual functional part of the hardware, would be the rods and the poles. So this program, we're basically taking the stationary pole mix and match and combine that with the 1 3/8 inch decorative traverse from Studio Coordinate. So now you're getting the best of both worlds. Our stationary poles are available in 2 ways. So we have the stationary pole that's in the gold finish. That's available either as a fixed width pole or telescoping poles. The telescoping poles are available in 3 sizes. We have the 38 to 66, 66 to 120, and 120 to 180 in width. It's a fixed width pole. You may notice this if you have your color brochure. You will actually need to order your brackets separately. I'll tell you why we did that, because we are now offering bypass brackets. So we want you to spend the extra money on brackets if you're just going to throw them out. So I'll show you when we get to our bypass brackets, we'll dig into that a little bit more. So the telescoping widths are those 3 widths, and we also offer a fixed width pole in 8-foot lengths. This pole can be cut down or it can be spliced together. If you're cutting down these designer metals poles, I would recommend that you, of course, the area that's going to be cut, wrap in blue painter's tape to just protect the finish. And I recommend using a fine-tooth carbide saw blade, and that will just go right through it. I've done some cutting with samples for my training samples, and that works the best. I've also seen people use pipe cutter with cutting these, and that can work. You just have to be very careful they don't actually dent the pole and cause issue with that. But so I do recommend the saw blade, the fine-tooth carbide saw blade. So stationary poles, which are meant for, of course, your grommet tops, your stationary panels, anything of that nature. And then our new C-ring and bypass that we'll talk about when we get to accessories. You now have the baton wand traversing option with the stationary poles. That is our telescoping traversing rods. And of course, in the 1 3/8" diameter, they are available in both smooth and fluted finishes, as you can see on the screen. And with both the smooth and the fluted finish, you also are able to order the rings or plain slides. So it's a really nice way to, again, just accent, really go with whatever the consumer is looking for. And the items are available in 3 telescoping lengths. So again, 38 to 66, 60 to 120, and 120 to 180 in smooth and fluted. And smooth only will actually go up to 270 inches. And this is another huge improvement over our old program, because in our old program, that larger size of 270 was only available in one finish. And now you can go up to 270 in all of those beautiful base finishes that we spoke about. So again, you have nice options here with the poles and the rods in the 1 3/8". Again, just reiterating from what I spoke about in the beginning, these all feature the tonally coordinated components. So no longer will you have a dark colored pole with a brass bracket. You have the color of bracket, the color of slide, the color of ring that will coordinate with the other pieces of the set. One question that comes up very frequently that has been asked a lot about this program is, what about the old studio coordinates stationary poles, where basically it was a decorative traversing rod that had just been completely stripped of its guts. So no, there was no cording, there were no slides, there were no masters, and folks would use those maybe in a room where you had a traverse rod over the patio door and then a stationary rod over the kitchen sink, something like that. Those butted studio coordinates rods are gone. However, now you can you'll have the same exact finish on the stationary poles that we pulled from Mix and Match. You're not losing any of the design functionality. It's actually just making it a little bit easier. So it was just chatted into me that this is a perfect time to answer right now. So the question is, are there any made-up sets, or is everything a separate order? Great question. So in the past, when we had our old studio coordinates line, we did have some sets where it was the Sermosa set, where everything was included. Finials, everything was just one part number, and you can order that. That has actually gone away. We still do, when you order the rod is assembled to order. So if you order from us a 66 to 120 inch fluted rod with rings, you would order that in whatever color you want, and then you would just need to purchase your finials separately. Brackets are included on the traverse rod, so we'll ship you the brackets. So you have the rod with the brackets, and then order the finials separately. So it's a little bit different. We did get away from the sets, and something that we went away from is the plug-in finials. If you're very familiar with the old studio coordinates, we had mostly screw-in finials, but some were the old style plug-in, and we've completely eradicated the plug-in finials. So now we'll only have screw-in finials, and finial plug kits just come standard with every rod. They're just shipped out with every rod and every pole. So thank you for asking that. Then on to our estate rod. What you're going to hear us talk about, this is our 2-inch decorative traverse rod that was previously known as Estate Ultra Metal. What we found is we've actually taken away the Ultra out of Estate Ultra because we've added so many more options to the estate rod. We have Estate Buckingham, Estate Wood Trends, Estate Designer Metal, and when we had Ultra in the name, it was a little bit confusing. People thought that the Wood Trends estate rod was maybe a lower quality because it didn't have Ultra in it. It was just very confusing. So now we've taken our estate rods and we offer Estate Buckingham, Estate Wood Trends, and Estate Designer Metals. You're going to find information on your estate rods in the back of those 3 brochures respectively. So they're no longer an individual Estate Ultra brochure. On the back of Buckingham, there's a part about Estate Buckingham. In the back of Wood Trends, there's a piece about Estate Wood Trends. And in the back of the Designer Metals brochure, there is these rods or features that we're looking at right now. So again, we are trying to make it a little bit easier rather than having people have to go to a different section. If you know you want a Designer Metals finish, but you need the heavier functionality of the estate rod, Just flip the back, and there you'll find all the information. So estate rod is truly our beautiful yet most heavy-duty decorative traverse rod that we offer. Basically what you have is going to be a fascia, and that is coupled with our 94001 Architrack type rod. It's not exactly the same, but it is very, very similar. What sets this rod apart is the ball bearing design. So of the pieces, we have your drapery slides, your cord jaws, your master carriers, all of those pieces of the estate rod are all on their own ball barrier system. So you're going to be able to have a rod that functions incredibly smoothly. It really allows the customer to move these great drapery weights. We're seeing draperies get heavier and heavier as the years go by. So this is actually, just to give you a little bit of context, the estate rod is rated at about 3 times the drapery weight of the 1 3/8-inch designer metals decorative traverse rod. You get a lot of increased functionality, as this is truly our heaviest duty rod. It's available in 3 different styles. Our standard estate rod with pinch pleat carriers, our estate designer metal rod with the pinch pleat carriers with rings, and also offer estate designer metals with our ripple fold slides. Now, a caveat here is that when you do purchase the estate rod with the ripple fold slides, these do not have the ball bearing carriers I just spoke about. So the ball bearing carriers are exclusive pinch pleat slides, and actually working right now on getting a ball bearing ripple fold carrier, but it does not feature that yet. So I just always like to make that very clear, as those ball bearings really do make a difference in the ease of the traverse. Our estate rod is cut to measure, so you need to give either Kirsch or a Kirsch distributor the exact measurements down to the nearest 1/8 inch, and we will cut this rod. We will make the rod to your direct specifications. We do this rod anywhere from 3 feet up to 16 feet. Finials are not included in that measurement. So always remember that finials are going to be different. You're going to have to purchase your, account for that distance of the finials. That anywhere from 6 to 7 inches, or on some of the larger, longer finials, you could maybe have 9 to 10 inches of projection. So I always like to remind people to make sure to take the finial length into consideration. All right, now we're going to take a look at our accessories. So first off, you can really see we took the metal accessories line, we trimmed it down, we increased the finishes, obviously now to all the 9 designer metal finishes, and we're really to give you some great design functionality here. First off, with our medallions and holdbacks, we offer 2 diameters. We have the 3-inch diameter and the 4.5-inch diameter, and we've made the offering there much more modern. So we have the plain holdback, and then we have the traditional square, which I really like. We also still offer our standard accessories that we had in the old programs, such as rings, holdbacks, swivel plates, all that good stuff. We bring in a transitional ring, which I really like the transitional ring. It's quite a bit thicker than our old standard mix and match ring. So it's going to give a little bit more of a modern, contemporary appearance. So I really like that ring. And while we're talking about the rings, I will just let you know all of the rings are shipped out with alligator clips. So if you are doing a pinch pleated treatment and you don't need the alligator clips, you simply pull those right off. They're fairly easy to remove. If you do need the alligator clips, if you're using those for the fabric treatment, will be on the rings. They ship with all the rings. Some of the new items that we actually brought in, the first one is going to be the double bracket. So it seems like something that I know our competitors have had that we definitely needed to bring in. So yay, it's here. So we have the double bracket so that we can do a sheer in the back and then decorative panels up front. And what I am most excited about is our bypass and seating. So you see here we offer a new bypass bracket, and that works in conjunction with our C-rings and with C-ring baton wand. So now your customer can traverse their treatments on a stationary rod with a beautiful wand. Like I said earlier, this works just like our our hot iron product, and that's, you know, it's been engineered, that C has been engineered to go past the bypass brackets and not have any hang-ups, and at the same time not fall off the rod. So we are very excited to bring this into the 1 3/8 inch diameter rather than just the 1 inch in wrought iron. So if you are ordering a stationary pole, you will need to order your brackets separately. That way, if you need 2 standard brackets on the end and 2 bypass brackets or 3 bypass brackets, you're not having all these extra brackets and components come with your order. So our accessories line. So that brings us to the end of our actual product information. Now I'm going to take you through our collateral items. But we'll take a few minutes to let you chat in your questions. There's usually a lot of questions at this portion about product, so I'll go ahead and just take a minute for you to chat your question in, and I will read those as they come in. The first question from the chat line, and the question is, how wide can we go on the bypass treatments? Great question. As long as you are putting a bypass bracket approximately every 4 feet and are splicing together, let's say you're using the 8-foot fixed width poles and splicing those together with our internal splice, as you're using a bypass bracket, at every splice point, you can go as wide as you like. We know many people are now treating entire walls, so we'll be able to achieve that. So just make sure you don't go more than 4 feet, or approximately 4 feet, depending on the treatment. You go more than 4 feet is the Kirsch recommendation. And then also just make sure that you're putting a bracket at each splice, and we're going to allow you to go as far as you want. So great question. Another question, is the wrought iron program going away? And if you are an independent retailer or you order from our distributors, absolutely not. Wrought iron is one of our most popular categories. It's not going away. It just simply hasn't been updated yet. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. I'm going to walk you through all the brochures and everything that you should have in your binder. So wrought iron does look a little bit different. It looks like it's kind of the one you haven't paid enough attention to. But we will be updating that. It is not going away. Great question. A very good question is, are you able to go around the swivel socket with the rings? Great question, and unfortunately, no, not at this time. We're looking at some different options to maybe do more of an internal swivel socket, but at this time, the swivel socket actually has the 2 poles come into it, so it is larger than the pole, so you cannot use the bypass bracket to go around it. And what you could do is you put a different panel for each different width length, but I know a lot of people maybe want to do a bay with just one treatment and go all the way around, and unfortunately we can't do that right now. Another question is, can you download this webinar slideshow? Absolutely. When we get to the end of this presentation, I'm going to show you some of the new technical features I've put together for our dealers, distributors, and designers, so you can have access to all of our training materials. And I'll have this webinar available for replay. I will also put this presentation up on the website. A great question. I'm really glad you asked this. This question says, someone is stating they're a little bit confused about the stationary poles. In the new hardware catalog, it says that the fixed width pole comes with 4 brackets. I'm so glad you brought this up. Thank you, thank you. The catalog is incorrect in this instance. And this is something I just found out last week, or actually the beginning of this week. So I'll have your hardware books in front of you. If you could turn to page 22, and at the bottom it says 1 3/8 inch fixed width pole, 4 brackets. Go ahead and just cross that out. So it was right in the color brochure. It was wrong in the actual price list. So cross that out, we have it noted, and we'll make our edit the next time we update the price guide. So great question. Another very good question. Please explain the pin-hook pendant on the swivel socket. So yes, that's a great question. Let me see. If I go back to the accessories, here's our swivel socket. We actually receive a swivel socket. There's a small pendant. It's a dangling piece. It has a threaded top. just like a screw, and then the bottom just has a hole in it. So some people will just look at it, not be sure what it is, and they'll throw it away. But if you notice, you can actually screw it into the bottom of the swivel socket. So the socket actually turns and is joined together. That's what you can screw in the pendant. What it's for is that is for our customers or our designers and decorators to be able to pin the end of the drapery if they're using a pinch pleat drapery, to be able to pin that final drapery where it will be a return and going into a wall. If it's obviously not going into a wall, if it's going on the corner, they can use that pendant to help provide support so that the ends of the drapery don't sag. If you're doing a different side treatment, if you're doing a grommet top, you wouldn't need to use it, so you could just discard it or maybe keep it for a different job. But great question. And another question that's come in is who all will be receiving this program? So basically, if you order from any of our Kirsch distributors, this program is for you. Anyone that currently carries Kirsch drapery hardware, you will be receiving this update. So everyone that carries our Kirsch DDH line, this is going to be your new metal line. So great, everyone. So now we'll go ahead and move into our collateral. So here you can see we have our brand new color brochure. This is, it actually says on it, Kirsch in huge letters, designer metals, drapery hardware. So this is a brochure. Some really important improvements that we made in the brochure. You can see here, pulled a page out of it for our presentation here. But a couple of things, we actually show each finial in a color picture. We name of each finial. What we're showing the example in, because believe it or not, so many people will see something on the page and they'll decide that's what they want in their home. So I wanted to make sure you had access to that. And below we have a pendant showing the color, each finial, and the color name, and the item number. So we resoundingly heard from the design community that customers don't want to purchase something if they can't see the color. And even if they just need to see a little bit of the color, that's better than nothing. So we could say in the pages, available in all 9 designer metal colors, and customers just don't appreciate that. They actually want to see it. So we did your little medallions for all of the colors. Then at the bottom, we actually put the finial diameters. So we did the width times height times depth. Really what's most important here is the width or the projection of the finial. So now no longer have to flip back and forth, go to the price guide, go to the finial reference chart to find their sizes. It's going to be right down here in grayed out black and white picture. And that's for every finial, every bracket, just trying to, again, make your life a little bit easier. Here's a swatch card. So this is our swatch card that has our finishes, designer metals. You notice that this swatch card is a little bit different. It's not the flat color chips like what we've had in the past. So look at our wood trends or wrought iron or our old metals. We just had flat chips that just velcroed to the page. Talked about earlier when I was speaking about our finishes, because all 4 of these, the black bronze, Venetian bronze, oil rubbed bronze, and dark oiled bronze, because they all really share that same black undertone. If we've done flat one-dimensional chip cards, you would have been able to see the beauty and the difference in that's in the details of these finishes. So what we've done here is with these little tiny, we're referring to them as minials at Kirsch. They're tiny versions of a miniature holdback. We're able to show you the differences in the detailing. It's very similar to what you would see on the actual finial. So that's why we represented them this way. That's why they're in a little bit of a different pack. They are in these, they're little plastic baggies to keep them safe so that they don't get lost, because we couldn't Velcro them in, because we want you to be able to see and feel and touch the three-dimensionality of those finishes. Also, in your Kirsch binder, if you're looking through it, if you have it in front of you now, this photograph shows you what you should be keeping. So swatch cards that you should be keeping, and then the color brochures that match with each of these swatch cards. So have a Buckingham swatch card, a Buckingham brochure, a wrought iron swatch card, a run brochure, a trend swatch card, the winds brochure, a designer metal swatch card and the designer metals brochure. So you can throw away anything that has to do with metal accessories, match, studio coordinates, and a state ultra metal. Sometimes we like to hang on to things because you figure it's better to have 2 copies than just one. But I really recommend getting rid of those older and dated pieces just because everything is so different. From the part numbers to the finishes, there really isn't a lot of crossover anymore. So I would recommend throwing all of those older items away. When you're looking at your new brochures and your swatch cards that are current, one thing to note, the wrought iron swatch card is the only one that will still feature the Kirsch logo. So the wrought iron swatch card and the wrought iron brochure are still in the old style. Like I talked about earlier, we will be updating that eventually so that it matches all of the other swatch cards, like you can see here, the Buckingham and the designer metals that have a new Kirsch logo. Moving to displays for Kirsch designer metals, we actually, rather than just offering one style of display, we are offering 3. We're offering our traditional display, our contemporary display, and our transitional display. So what this is we've had and we picked out finials that kind of best represented those core styles. So if you need a new display, please contact either your Kirsch Sales Representative or your Kirsch Distributor Sales Representative, and they can get one of these on order for you. But you can see these cell sheets, the display kit, that's the big display that's up top here. That letter display kit is going to be $125. If you just need the header kit, that would be $20. If you just need the ladders, that would be $20. These are now our larger display options. In a smaller area, you don't have room for the large display board. We also offer the plaque display board. So that's available for $75, or you can just put the metal black plaque frame for $10. If you have an older plaque that you just want to freshen up and maybe something is wrong with the frame, you could purchase that for $10. Cell sheets are going to show you exactly what items are available. So again, the cell sheet is going to be a traditional, contemporary, or transitional option. So you can really decide, depending on your part of the country or depending on your clientele, you can get the option that is right for you and for your customers. This would be your display option. And last, but most certainly, definitely not least, is your Kirsch 2013 price list. So the price list will be effective in now just 2 weeks. This will actually be the price list. Please go ahead and throw away your old price list. I always like to go in and transition my notes because I write notes in my price list. It's like my book I keep with me all the time. So transition your notes and then go ahead and throw this away. So your price list should be dated February 2013. They'll know you have the correct information. Speaking of price list, I do want to spend a little bit of time with it and focus on 2 key differences. First one being the part number. If you've sold Kirsch any time at all, you are probably very used to having a finial had one part number. So let's say the finial's part number was 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you would have to go find the color number. So the color was number 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 4, or 1, 2, 5. So you have to find your finial number, your part number, and then your finish number. What we've done with this new 2013 catalog is we have actually combined all of that so that each unique finial design in a unique finish has its own part number. So you can see here the Moderna with the antique silver with walnut wood is 183, 1833. That finial in the dark oil bronze finish with the walnut wood accent is 183, 1834. So, and all of the new items are going to have a brand new part number. So it'll be, because it's obviously a brand new product. So old items, so let's say maybe one of our Buckingham finials that we've had for a couple years, or one of our drapery, our basic drapery hardware rods, we've combined the part number with the color number. So you'll see in basic, a lot of them ended in 025 because that was the old color number for white. So that's the new part numbers. So you're used to ordering something, you just memorized it, you order it off the top of your head. You have a few new numbers to learn because we do. Everything is going to be fairly new. And then the biggest other difference in our new price list is the estate verbiage. I already touched on this, but I said the ultra has gone away. So no longer ultra being used, just estate Buckingham, estate Trends, and estate designer metals. Before we finish up, there is something, as we were going through and talking about the finishes, I really drilled home the idea of the base finish. And I just want to point that out in what I feel is the most important example. So here I pulled a page from our price list. I actually think it's page 23. As our 1 3/8 inch assembled set, so this would be the old Studio Coordinates product, suited with rings, 30 to 6 sticks. So you know what's included. You're going to have 3 brackets, 2 finial plugs, a device, and a traverse ring. Now see a little star or a little cross here, and we'll get back to that. So when you're ordering this product, you would have to figure out which color you want. When we're looking through our colors, you can see when we get to bronze and oil rub bronze, just tell you order the black bronze. So you're going to order the black bronze rod, and then you can order your finials in dark gold or oil rubbed, again for that nice accent. However, you can order the Venetian bronze. It does, again, it has that little cross. So I point out what that cross means. The cross down here says Venetian bronze uses a black bronze pole with Venetian bronze rings. And I like to point this out because, again, this is the only time this happens in the book where it's this stark of a difference. But I did want to show you those Venetian bronze rings. As many of you know, when you're looking at these telescoping decorative traverse rods, the actual ring is not metal. It's made of a different material. It's made of a resin material. So it's very difficult to get this exact match. It looks beautiful on, it just takes a little bit of a different tone. For the black bronze, it looks identical. It just really depends on the finish. But I'll show you this photograph because this would be the black bronze pole with Venetian bronze rings. Now, when I first saw this, I wasn't a fan. However, as we started to do more consumer research, we found out about 50% of designers wanted the black bronze rings. So if not 50% of designers that want your pole to match your rings, just go ahead and order the black bronze. However, the other 50% of designers wanted their rings to match the accent on the finial. So you see here with this fleur-de-lis finial in Venetian bronze, you can see how the knife edges of the finial really pull back to that accent color of the rings. So you're in the 50% of the designers or decorators that want out more of an accented look, you would order the quote-unquote Venetian bronze pole, which is the black bronze pole with the Venetian bronze ring. Just wanted to point this out because it is the only instance of this in the program where there really is a stark difference between what the rings would look like and what the pole actually looks like. But again, about half of our designers loved it. The other half would go the other way and keep the darker rings. So I just wanted to make sure I was clear and showed that to all of you. That being said, I did film a quick YouTube video on our price list. When we shipped out our price list, or when we first sent to print, these base color issues with the stars and the crosses, they weren't really clear in the price list. So we did a revision. Unfortunately, all the price lists were already printed. We had to ship out a sticker update, which it's annoying that we had to do an update to a brand new book, but it's good we have all of the information, the correct information for you. So there's a quick video on our YouTube channel that walks you through how to do this update. It is very, very simple. I will give you now some more information, including the Kirsch YouTube channel. So if you have a designer or a decorator or anyone else who was not able to attend this call or this webinar today, we're having one final webinar that is being hosted through Visions Magazine. That is for the entire industry. That will be on February 12th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Invitations will be coming soon, both from Visions Magazine, if you are a subscriber to the magazine, or also it'll be coming through Kirsch and through our Kirsch distributors. I'm going to be launching a brand new overhauled Kirsch.com on February 1st. So the space that we launched this new designer metals program, if you log on to www.kirsch.com, you're going to see a huge difference from our current site. So we're looking forward to that. Last item I want to show you is a new dealer and designer training site. Now, the address for this website is www.knt.com/public. And this site is going to allow you to do is download all of our training materials on Kirsch drapery hardware and Kirsch blinds and shades. And it was also going to link you to our Kirsch training videos to our YouTube channel. So if you just click on this, what you see is it's going to take you straight to, again, to our YouTube channel, where we have a variety of different options, or we have a variety of different videos here, everything ranging from a 15-second video to show you how the Kirsch honeycomb day and night operates, all the way down to a video that's going to show you how ripple fold, helpful hints on ripple fold. There's priceless sticker update that I spoke about, that's listed right here. And we even have our almost hour-long Kirsch decorative drapery hardware training video that will literally take you through every single Kirsch decorative drapery hardware product category, and it will show you everything from beauty shots to how the rod is used in homes to installation. So a thorough video. Please subscribe to our channel. Say this is one of your favorites. And what we're going to be able to do here is just continuously keep you updated on anything that we add, any improvements that we add to the YouTube site. And I'm updating this site weekly. So I'm sure you're coming in and taking part in that. So with that being said, brings us to the conclusion of our webinar. What I'll do now is go ahead and read any more of the questions that have been sent in, and so ahead and send your questions to the chat line if you have any more. One question that just came in is, will we be receiving a sample of the oak finish in studio coordinates? And then studio coordinates is going away. So will no longer be the studio coordinates oak finish. That will be officially discontinued in 2 weeks, in 14 days. So that will be replaced with the darker bronze finishes from the new designer metals program. So once again, to make sure we're completely clear, studio coordinates, mix metal accessories, and Estate Ultra metal are completely discontinued and being replaced by designer metals, which includes station poles, cursing rods, including the estate rod and accessories. I am not seeing any other questions come in, so I'd just like to thank you all for your time today, and thank you for your support of Kirsch and our new designer metals program. Thank you, everyone.